Paranormal Dimensions is a regular feature on Mondays on the Paranormal UK radio network.
Hello, this is Philip Kinsella, and you're listening to the Paranormal UK Radio Network, the UK's biggest paranormal network, and this is Paranormal Dimensions with David Young.
Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you for that intro, Philip. Now, today's guest is a man named David Cook. He has his own radio show called The Ghostly Hour on a different station, but we don't mind that. And I'm sure you'll find a lot of his paranormal experiences very interesting to listen to. Joining me today on the show as co-presenter is the lovely Juliette. How you doing, Juliette?
I'm all right. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
I think today I'd like the honorary name of David, so we can all be David.
Oh, no, we can't have that. In fact, I was going to say to you, because there's going to be two Davids on the show, you could call our guest David and just call me Sir. No?
Oh dear.
No, anyway. We're going to have David, we've got David Cook. I don't know if you don't know, I don't think you know him, do you?
Not at the moment, no.
No, but I have been on his show. He's got his own radio show called The Ghostly Hour on one of our opponents. But no, there's no opponents in this business. It's just another friend who's on a different radio station, that's all. But, anyway, let's introduce David, because I think he's sitting there waiting for us, and we'll see where we go. All right?
Indeed.
Hello, welcome to the show, David. David Cook. Hello.
Hello, sir. Long time no speak.
Yes, welcome to the show, David. I had to reciprocate after being on your show. What was it, a couple of years ago now, wasn't it, I think?
Oh, I think it must be now, yeah.
Must be getting on for that, mustn't it? And your show is The Ghostly Hour on the KCOR channel, one of our opponents. But no, we're all mates, aren't we? I think it's silly to have it's like the ITV and the BBC used to have guests from each side on there.
Of course you do, and we recommend guests to each other if we need them for shows.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
As long as it helps, that's what matters.
That's it, yeah. So, I know you've just had a chat with Juliette, but Juliette's joined us today, and you don't really know Juliette, but you probably will do by the end of the show, because she's here to keep me in order.
I was hoping for some anarchy as well. Oh.
Well, possibility of that. David, very pleased to speak to you. Other David, Davina.
Yeah, I think we've already spoken about this. Because there's two Davids on the show, you call our guest David and just call me Sir, alright?
You can call me what you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
Oh, we've had our dinner, so we're alright, so.
Oh, if you hear any heavy breathing or panting, it's not me, it's the dog.
Oh, okay. Right,
yeah,
okay.
Luna.
Well,
Luna's
thanks for clearing
me.
that one up, Juliette.
Well, just in case people listening go, what's this? And you can hear...
Usually when I hear heavy breathing, I've got to break out the Ouija board.
It's funny, when the manager who runs this station, she's got, I don't know if her dog's been a bit ill, I think, but when I've been speaking to her, you can hear the dog snoring on there.
Oh!
But, anyway, David, so how did you get into this business in the first place? I suppose we better get on with the show, otherwise people will say, come on, let's get on with it.
Well, the paranormal business, I've been in it for about 40 years now, because I had my first experience when I was 6.
You only look about 20.
Dave, checks in the post, mate. Careful though, because I wrote it on the rubber check, so it might bounce. Yeah, thank you for that.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, my first experience when I was 6, I told my mum she wasn't my first mum, but I still loved her.
Right.
Sadly, I can't remember the name of my first mum, nor can my mum when I told her. Then after that, things just sort of progressed and got sort of more intense, and things started happening around the house, because I had like yellow luminous paint on a table football box and the wall in my old bedroom. And it was weird because I could still see the lettering, I could still see the pattern of the wallpaper through this luminous yellow. Well, I can only class it as paint, really. So when I got my dad, I asked him to come and have a look at it because I wanted to make sure I wasn't just seeing things. And as soon as he come up, there was not a trace of it. It just completely disappeared. So after that, things gradually started picking up.
So how old were you about then?
Oh, I think it must have been about... Well, we moved here when I was 10. So I must have been about 12, 13.
Oh, right. Yeah, you weren't as young as me, because I told you about that story about me. I saw that purple mist come around my room when I was in my cot. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, it's a couple of years ago now, but
I remember shows.
Yeah, I had that purple mist swirling around the room, and I was calling for me. I mean, I was only a baby in my cot, sort of thing, and I was sort of probably just about talking, and yeah, this purple mist swirled around the room and it swirled out the door, and I could see it, but my dad couldn't. But he did. He always remember. Yeah, it always stuck with me, and I could remember it. But that's the reason I asked about your age. That's all. But anyway, I won't bore you with my story again because I've said it a few times before now. But
well, I'm 46, and the reason why I say that I've been in it for 40 years is because since that time, I've always had an interest within the paranormal. When I was young, I used to watch Arthur C. Clarke's World of Strange Powers.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch that and it was like, oh, fantastic, because it was like, oh, I didn't know that. It was educational as well.
Although he was quite a sceptic, though, wasn't he? Or is it? Or is he still alive? I'm not sure. I think he's gone now, isn't he?
He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was a bit of a skeptic, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a big skeptic. But I loved the way that he presented it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't meant to be in a scary kind of fashion, like Juliette said. It was done in an educational way.
Yeah.
It was done so that you can learn about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be scary at all.
And quite honestly, you've got to be a skeptic first anyway, haven't you? You can't just accept everything, like we've said before, haven't we, Juliette? You know.
We have, indeed, yes.
Well, I've always said I'm one of the biggest believers out there. Because of everything I've been through, the things I've seen, the things I've told people. But I've still got the skeptic side of me that wants to find out the truth. Is it natural? Is there anything I can rule out? So then I can come back to someone and say, this is what I've got. This is what I've ruled out. Is there anything you can help me with to explain this? Before I actually say for sure whether or not I think it's paranormal or if it's just a natural occurrence.
Yeah. Yeah, you've always got to look at that side of it first, you know. When on your, I know you've done quite a lot of sort of investigations as well, haven't you? Is there a group that you're connected to?
Well, I've got my own group, Essex Ghost Investigations. I started them up quite a few years ago now. Basically, it's because I was getting calls asking to go and investigate people's houses. So I do mainly houses and things like that, private ones, rather than sort of all these well-known locations.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no point me going there on my own, because I don't know what kind of situation I'm going to get into. And so really, I do need people to back me up. So I thought I'll start Essex Ghost Investigations, Started it with a couple of friends of mine. And since then, we've shared our stuff with other groups. So other groups share stuff with us. And I've now got a really, really great connection to other groups. And they're just fantastic to work with.
Yeah, excellent. I suppose you know the East Anglia group with Gary and Sharon.
Yeah, great people. Great people.
Yeah,
I love the way they approach things.
Yeah,
I really
definitely.
do.
Yeah, they're definitely straight and narrow, aren't they?
Yeah,
But,
yeah, straight to the point as well.
Yeah.
This is what it is. If you can disprove it, please do.
Yeah.
And I just love their approach, and I love them as people.
Yeah. It's been really unfortunate this year because a lot of things are about to be cancelled, aren't they? Because of this damn virus thing. Whether we all believe in the virus or not, but unfortunately it's stopped a lot of stuff from happening this year.
Well, I still know a few people who are still going out, actually doing investigations or ghost hunting.
Really? Well, as a group?
Well, I know there's a couple who do it. I think we know who they are. I'm not going to give them any more publicity.
Mm.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of quite a little bit of a stink about that, wasn't there?
Yeah. But to be honest, if they live together, then I can't see the problem because they're in a secluded place.
Yeah.
There's no one else around. They live together. So I can understand the outrage, but I'm also trying to see it from another perspective as well.
Yeah.
Not just one-sided.
Yeah, I think I think my attitude has changed a little bit towards that because when we've seen politicians going out and sort of just doing what they like, and then when everyone was supposed to be on a lockdown and everything, you kind of do change your perspective a little bit, don't you? I did anyway.
Let's face it, when it comes to the government and when it's sort of people in power, they always think that the rules don't apply to them and that they can bend them somehow and get away with it. And
which they did, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way of the world.
Yeah. But like you say, I mean, like you're saying, if they're living together away from everybody, and they're going somewhere where they're not going to be mixing with people, if you're worried about the virus, whether it exists or not and everything, but that's whole other matter. But, I can see, I mean, when you're going out in the countryside, and you've got drones following you to say you shouldn't be out there, that's a control thing. It's nothing to do with staying safe and keeping everyone else safe, is it? It's, because you're not actually mixing with anyone, so what harm are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I know we're going a little bit off topic here, but it's something.
Just a bit, boys. Come on.
It's a little bit close to my heart because I live in the country, and unfortunately I've not been able to go anywhere because nothing's open. But if things were open, I'd go. That's my gripe.
I've got a site near me, which is Barking Abbey Ruins, and it's open 24/7. So I know full well if I wanted to, I could go there.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't really want to go there at this point in time. Because to me it seems like, alright, unfortunately, we are on lockdown. It is easing a bit. But to me it feels like now the spirits are starting to build their energy again. There's so many events going on all around the world that eventually, if you're a spirit and you get people coming up to you week after week, eventually you're going to get tired. You're going to get fed up. And you're just going to want it just to stop.
Do you feel that these places do get drained, rather, for all the visits they get there?
Well, I've done a investigation at Coalhouse Fort in Tilbury, in Essex. And before I went there, I was getting messages from spirits asking me, when I get there, can I please give a message to the person in charge and ask them to stop doing investigations there.
Really?
Because the spirits were getting so tired, they were getting so fed up, because they felt like when people were there on an event, they had to try and perform.
Yeah. So they do. So, in your point of view, then they do actually understand what's going on. That people are actually going there just to communicate with spirits.
The majority of them do, yeah. That's the intelligent spirit.
Yeah.
That's the one that knows it can interact with you. And it just, for me, it just seems like a case of so many places have been investigated so many times now.
Mm.
And it's like, yeah, just give it a break. Just leave them be. They don't want you going in their house and you commanding them to scratch you or tap on something.
Mm.
You know, just leave them be. Just give them time. Because to me, if they don't, then someone's going to go in there. They are going to get what they want, but it's going to be in the wrong way because the spirits will lash out.
Mm. So I suppose in that way they have had a bit of a rest anyway, haven't they, for a couple of months?
Well, I've actually felt the calmness. Whereas before, you go to a place and it feels sort of uncertain, it feels a bit chaotic. Mm. Just lately, I've been feeling the calmness. And it's so nice to actually feel that from the spirits.
Mm. How do you feel about that, Juliette? Have you had that sort of experience too?
Where I live in Blackpool. So you got a whole debate of people coming to visit here and can of worms. Anyway. Mm. Things to do, it's like the sea was cleaner. There was no rubbish. There was no tourists leaving gubbins and things. You could smell the air better. I know that sounds awfully peculiar. The birds. People were just happier. And when you did see somebody, you're all right, even if it was a complete stranger. But it's going back to David, talking about
not
energies
boss.
and things. Not boss, Davina. Devil's advocate here. It's like, I remember sort of saying this in a sort of, how can I phrase it? Is there a book, we've all seen Beetlejuice, the recently deceased handbook for the dead. Mm. Of course, there's no definitive, this is when you must appear, this is when you haunt, this is what will happen. You've got degrees of intelligence with that entity, be it high level, low level. You've got all these things to consider. They may be having an off day, or week, or year. You need to recover. It's not a performing dog. Mm. But, there you go. Those are my thoughts for the minute.
Yeah. I can quite understand that. But, yeah, it's quite interesting, Dave. I'd never actually thought of it that way. But I know you do hear that places do. They do wear out kind of thing. I've heard that from Gary and Sharon from the EAPI, the East Anglia group. But I never really give it that much thought really that they do get tired of it. Because of course you think of your own group, but then you think that there's loads of other groups as well that go to these places.
Is it just a money making?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if one or two groups might be like that. I know the East Anglia group aren't like that, and I'm pretty sure David's group isn't like that.
Some are.
I don't charge at all for anything I do.
No. Mm. And that's where you see. I mean, obviously, if you've got to pay for a venue, a location to go and investigate, obviously they if it's like a fort or something, they do expect a fee, don't they? But
well, I tried to hire out a place in Colchester because I thought, with it being the oldest town in England, there must be so much going on there. So I wrote off to Colchester Council, asked them if there was anywhere I could investigate. I said I'm going to take about 10 people with me, and I'd like it from 10 at night till about 6 in the morning. And I actually got an email back saying, we can let you investigate Colchester Castle.
Really?
We can't allow you to go onto the top floor where all the most expensive stuff is, which I thought, no, that's fair enough. But then the price come through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was over $3,000.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening.
No, $3,000 between like 10 people. That's a lot of money. Good God.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean, see. But you see, like some of these venues, like the houses and whatever you investigate, or other smaller faults and things like that, they do expect a fee, and it's usually covered by maybe a group of 10 or 12 people, and they, 30 to 50 quid each, isn't it? Something like that. Which is doable, isn't it?
On average, I think it's about £40 on average that I've been paying.
Yeah, per person sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of the average one. You do have groups that try to charge about £60 for a place, and I think that does overdo it a little bit.
Well, I go to Phantom's House Museum quite a lot. And I've actually built up a relationship with a child spirit there by the name of Charles. Fantastic kid. He really is such a great kid. And I know when I go on an investigation there that they've organised, it's around about £30-40 a ticket.
Yeah.
I've noticed other people doing events there, and one place, I think one about £65 a ticket.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was talking about. There are groups that do overcharge, and they're on the they're trying to make a profit out of it, which is not the way to run it, is it?
Well, it's not. I can understand it in a way because they've got their costs as well, coming from a different location to Phantom's House, whereas where Phantom's House run it themselves, they're not taking any costs. They're doing it voluntarily. So in a way, I can understand it from a business point of view. But to me, it is still a bit too much when you can go there cheaper at another time.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to come I'd have to come on one of your, well, if I'm allowed to, I'd like to come on one of your visits one day. One night, well, one night, not one day.
When it comes to my group, basically, anyone and everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a skeptic, if you just don't believe at all, if you're a firm believer. I do not care. As long as you're respectful, as long as you respect other people's opinions, respectful of the location of everyone there, and as long as you come with an open mind, then you're more than welcome. Yeah.
Oh, you know me. I'm not a troublemaker, anything like that. Do you ever do like radio shows from it, David? Doing recordings or whatever for your show?
With most private investigations, I don't, because obviously it's their houses, it's their experiences, what they're going through, so it's personal to them. I'm just there to help. When it comes to organised events, I have actually reported on them on my shows. I actually reported about Parafest as well.
Yeah, oh right, yeah.
Where we first met.
Yeah, for about 5 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah. We went to find out where the drinks were.
Yeah, everyone's rushing around trying to get to the next bit. Yeah, that's right. And then we went and had an illegal cup of coffee in the wrong place. That's right. That's another story. Yeah.
I'm sure that was because they thought you was a speaker on that day.
Yeah, probably. Might be. But I got away with it anyway. I think because I knew a few of the people there. That's what it was. That's probably what the problem was. But anyway. But so what have been your most interesting venues? I keep saying venues, locations, David.
Well, we'll have to say Coalhouse fault for what happened now. Privately, there was a house I investigated which literally took me out the paranormal for 6 months.
Did it?
I didn't want nothing to do with the paranormal whatsoever. I always have great experiences at Phantom's House Museum, and I've actually cried twice at Eastbury Manor House, which is literally a 5-minute walk away from me. So yeah, quite a few places I've had unexplainable experiences.
So the one that took you out for, what did you say, 6 months? What happened
Yeah.
there then? Or don't you want to tell us about it?
No. So it's gotten easier to speak about over time. Well,
it must have been pretty tough on you to take you out for 6 months.
Let's just say, if the spirit that was there had its way, I wouldn't be here talking to you now.
What was that bad?
I would be serving possibly 6 life sentences.
Wow.
It was my friend's aunt. Her name's Sharon. She don't mind me talking about this because I've asked her about it in the past. And it was her husband, Steve. It was their house. But we was at a birthday party for my friend's son. And 2 of my group members were talking to Sharon, and they've called me in to talk to her as well. Within 2 seconds of looking at her, I said, "There's a dark shadow in your house." And I said, "It's in your son's bedroom doorway." And the look on her face pretty much told me that it was true. And then she asked me, like, how'd you know this? I said, 'cause there's a white light sitting in a chair facing the doorway, and it's showing me it now. And I said, to be honest, the white light is the only thing that's keeping this shadow out of your son's bedroom.
Right.
So she called her son over, and she said to him, like, "Tell him what you see sometimes in your doorway." And he said, "A dark shadow." So that confirmed it. And then she's like, "You'll have to come round one day and have a look." So I'm like, "Yeah, alright. Like, let me know when." So we arranged a date, and I now warn people because of this. If you are not 100% mentally and physically fit, please do not go. I'm actually begging you, please do not go. Do not make the same mistake as what I did, please. We got to the house, and I shouldn't have gone. Because that afternoon when I was due to go, my aunt passed away, and I was close to her.
Right.
But I wanted to see if I could turn it around, what I was feeling, and use it as a strength. So I got to the house. Everything seemed pretty quiet. I told Sharon about little things that was happening in the house, with a little cupboard she's got in the living room, and a ginger cat that just wanders into the house that's not hers. Then, after a little while, I had another member of my team with me, Brian. I said to her, "Is it alright if I go upstairs?" So she's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I knew exactly the bedroom that I had to go to, because it was the only one that had a chair in it. So I'm sitting there. My friend Brian's come up, and he started to provoke it.
Oh.
Yeah. Big mistake.
Oh dear.
I'm sitting in the chair. I'm doing a bit of filming. And next thing I know, the shadow actually appeared in the doorway. It was basically trying to tell me to pin down my friend and basically beat him. Just to basically shut him up. Because basically the shadow was saying he needs to shut up because he don't know what he's doing. Making things worse. Shut him up.
So how was that coming through to you? Was it just coming through in your mind, or? I was just trying to get a picture of what, something like that, how it actually communicates with you.
Well, I could actually hear it as if we're talking now.
Right.
Could Brian hear it?
No.
Oh, okay.
And the way I saw it, it seemed like everything around it was brighter. It's like a dark patch. That's how I knew it was there.
Wow.
So, after a few minutes, I started getting a headache, where I'm trying to fight this thing off. Then all of a sudden, he turned around and said, "You want to see what I look like? I'll show you what I look like." I'm not going to describe it, because...
Bad idea.
It is stuff of nightmares.
Wow.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, the more it'll happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said to Brian, "Look, take the camera. Just take the camera, please. I've got to go. I've got to go. I've got to leave." So I went downstairs and I was literally shaking. I could not stop, no matter how hard I tried. I've got my friend, who's Sharon's niece, telling me to calm down, and I just couldn't. And it wasn't because I was cold either, because it was still quite warm. So then Sharon made me a cup of tea, and I thought, right, well, let's just give yourself a few minutes, get yourself together. And then my friend Brian brought down a digital voice recorder, and when he played it back, it sounded like it said my name. After that, I thought, no, I'm done. I'm done with this. I can't do no more. And my friend Sharon, her son, he was laying on the settee, asleep. Next thing I know, this shadow appeared in front of me. And it just turned its head to the side and looked at me. I'm like, no, I've got to get out of here. I can't do this. I really can't do this now.
So was it showing it to you, the face that you saw before, it was showing to you again, was it like that?
No, it knew that it was getting to me. So it knew no matter where I went, as long as it turned up, I was useless basically. So I've run into the kitchen, try and get away from it. Next thing I know, it's telling me to get rid of the family, but keep the son.
Wow.
And fighting this thing off, saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do your bidding. I've got my friend Sharon basically swearing at me, saying that I'm not going to get her son. And when she asked me where it was, I sort of pointed. Now, all the electrics were off, but the K2 meter was staying on red. That's how powerful this thing was. So I've got to admit, I was at least 2 minutes away from breaking. I was that drained. I was that tired. I just wanted to end. Thankfully, between the shadow and the sofa where her son was sleeping, this light started to emanate. And then it just filled up the room in this beautiful, pure white light. After a couple of seconds, the light disappeared, and it felt like someone came over to me and said, "Get up, it's okay, it's over now." And my friend Sharon turned around and said, when I was swearing at you, she said, it didn't look like you, it looked like someone else. She said, your whole face just changed. But yeah, after that, it made me sort of question myself as to whether or not I should be doing this, if I was strong enough to do it, why was I doing it, and I just didn't want to do it for 6 months after that. I was just, anything paranormal, I just turned away from.
I mean, is it as easy to do as that, though? Because, I mean, don't these things follow you anyway?
Well, thankfully, by the time this white light had finished, it seemed like the power from it took away the power from the dark entity. It was like weakened. It knew it wasn't going to win. So I think it will be back possibly sometime soon, because that was quite a few years ago now. But I think it needed to retreat because it knew it wasn't going to win.
Yeah. So was it actually,
Can I ask?
Yeah, sorry. Was it actually like a demonic entity, would you say, or was it one of like a shadow? Because they do hear about shadow beings and things like that. Which one of those do you think it was? Or would you have got no idea?
Well, I personally feel it was demonic, and the reason why I say that is because it wasn't trying to do it itself.
Yeah.
It was trying to get me to do it. That's what people don't understand. If it's evil, it'll do it itself.
Yeah.
But if it's demonic, it will try and manipulate others to do its bidding.
Yeah. Sorry, Jules, go on, I interrupted you, go on.
No, you're right. I was just listening and slightly being naughty and moving into a different room because there's a specific book I'm looking for. Alright, got it. David, not Sir David. Am I right to ask a couple of questions if you're alright for answering them? You don't have to. I appreciate where you're coming from.
That's fine, I don't mind.
When you entered this house, this is just more of a, because I've sort of done similar things, but obviously that's a conversation for another day. How did you prepare to go into that house? Did you do anything to protect you or Brian?
I always do, always. Brian don't necessarily like it, but I've got a scarf here from the Holy Land that I was given as a present. And I've been told put that on an hour beforehand. So I always put that on. I say a prayer, asking for protection, keeping dark entities away from us, only allow light entities to communicate with us, and protect everyone that's with me, whether they want it or not.
That's good.
And I just don't tell him that I'll do it when we get there.
Yeah, some people believe in magic, and I use that term loosely, but I think you probably appreciate where I'm coming from. Talking about entities, obviously, I've got quite a weird collection of books. Some of them you may or may not approve of. I've actually got quite a few Aleister Crowley books. Don't worry, I've not read anything out. It's interesting when you sort of look at, do the people who own the house, do they know the history of the house? Has somebody actually done something before they lived there and then not got rid of it properly? Because that's what it sounds like.
Well, when I went back there, because it was Sharon's birthday party, and I saw a picture on the wall. So I said to her husband, Steve, who's that man? And he said, that's my dad. I'm like, that's the Guardian that's here. I said, that's the white light. And it turns out when he was younger, he wasn't such a good person, shall we say. But what he was doing now was trying to make up for it.
Redeem.
So I'm wondering if he done something in the past that's brought this dark entity into the family. And
then he's trying his best to get rid of it, and it's probably still there. Do you think this is helping if talking about it, maybe I mean, obviously we don't know each other, so I'm just trying to think slightly outside the box, because your friends and, you know, the people who help you know I don't. So I'm like, what about this? What about that? I like the history behind a building or whatever's going on, and sometimes that does explain why a man or a woman or something is haunting, for want of a better expression. What do you think?
No, I agree with you, because I know when it does come to property, there are times when the spirit has not moved on. So as far as the spirit's concerned, it's still their property, and that we're trespassing.
My house, get out! Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is where some of the confusion comes in as well, with people saying it's a demon, it's an evil entity. No, it's not. It's just frustrated. It's angry because you're in their house. You've not asked their permission. You've not spoke to them. You've not acknowledged them. So perhaps try that, see if it actually calms the spirit down, and see if you can actually live together.
Have you looked into the history of the you know, what's gone on maybe with, you know, family and houses and things like that? You know, I'm sort of thinking out, you know, stopping at ley lines or, you know, old burial grounds, that sort of thing.
Well, I have recently got a website, which is the Scottish National Library website.
Oh, I know the one you mean, yes.
Yeah.
Great, isn't it? You're like, hey, what's it? Oh my god.
Yeah, the stuff I've found, even just in my area alone. I mean, where our library is, they've built flats above them, and that used to be part of a mortuary.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So people sort of laugh and go, oh, you know, historians, and I'm like, yeah, but I can tell you stuff that you lot overlook sometimes. That's why I love doing a bit of history, then going to visit, because it's like, okay, this used to be a graveyard, or this used to be a field, or this used to be da-da-da-da. It's always worth looking. Well, you know that anyway, so.
I like to do mine afterwards. I like to go there first, feel what I feel, document what I hear, what I see, and then do the research afterwards and see how it carries up.
Yeah, I do things back to front.
Well, that's one of the things I find interesting is the history of these places. You know, I know you've got a thing about Most Haunted, but I think I said to you before, the most interesting part of that program for me is actually telling you about the history of the location where they are. You know, you just sort of forget the rest if you like, but you know, hearing about the history is paramount to me anyway.
Well, like I say, what got me with that show, like when it first started, I did watch it because it was the only one here in the UK.
Yeah.
But what got me is, if it hears everything first, even before the person who's got the boom mic, they're always running away, and instead of filming what's going on, they film each other. I don't want to see you, I want to see what's going on. I personally don't put it down to them, I put it down to the TV companies.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're making an entertainment program, aren't they? And they want people to be looking at it.
And they've got to push themselves every week to get something new. It just gets to a point where it just goes over the top, unbelievable, and you just think, no, you're done.
Yeah. Oh, it's like when they're doing like maybe 6 hours of filming over an evening, and you're only seeing it in like 45 minutes, aren't you? So.
Trust me. David, let me send you a message. Not Sir David.
Oh, right.
Other Sir David. David I look younger in the other David that takes some embalming. A lovely guest who takes embalming fluid. That's why he looks so young.
Another check I've got to write out.
I know.
It's getting expensive.
Well, you can pay me in Blackpool Rock. Oh no. Right. Let me send you something later on by PM and you will smile and you will laugh. I can't talk about it on here, unfortunately. Sir David knows why. Trust me. You'll laugh, you'll smile and go,
Well,
you know
as it goes, I do have a funny story about a Ouija board experience.
Oh, I was going to talk to you about Ouija boards, but yeah, carry on, David.
We was at Coalhouse Fort. They brought out the Ouija board, and I thought, you know what? Everyone keeps saying this to me, so I'm going to do it. So I asked the Ouija board for the lottery numbers.
Yeah.
The spirit we had was fantastic. I'm sure it was my granddad Cook.
Yeah.
And the glass moved to 5. So I'm like, right, here we go everyone, get ready, write these numbers down. We'll do them on Saturday. So the glass went to 5, then back to 0. So it's like, right, is that 5 or 50? Because I don't do the lottery, so I don't know how high the numbers go up to. Then the glass moved to 6, then back to 0. Then moved to 7, back to 0. Moved to 8, back to 0. And I said, Spirit, are you having a laugh with us? And the glass moved to yes. So it went back. I said, go on then, you might as well finish it off. Sure enough, it went to 9 and 0. And I thought, thanks.
One thing, so it didn't want to make you rich then?
Nah. Probably just standing there with us thinking greedy sods, I'll teach them.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder if they would actually know it. I don't know. Because they're still looking into the future and they're living in the past, aren't they?
Well, I've got to be honest, I did check the next time lottery was on.
Well,
thankfully, the numbers didn't come in.
Well, I think, what does it go up to? It goes up to 50, does it, Julie? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. We only do it occasionally, but I'm not sure if it goes up to 50, does it?
Depends which one.
Yeah.
I think with the National Lottery it does, but with pass.
Yeah. Anyway, it's out of the remit of this programme. What about the spirit boxes, David? You ever use those?
I do. I'm not a great fan of them, I must admit. Because to me, we're too small of an island to use spirit boxes. Because to me, the spirit box is just basically a radio going through channels.
Yeah.
At a faster rate. But it was Halloween. I've done this on Facebook Live, and I managed to put it onto YouTube as well. And I was doing an investigation at Barking Abbey Ruins. I was at the tomb, which I believe is the very first burial in the graveside. So as I went round the corner, I've got this all on video, like I say. My nephew, who was with me, Danny, he walked past, and there was a shadow that was cast on the tomb. So I turned round, and I said on the live feed, that is my nephew's shadow. I don't want anyone messaging me saying that they see a shadow. Next thing I know, the spirit box actually turned around and said, I see the shadow.
Did it?
I've got the file if you want me to send it to you.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when the show goes out next week, I'll put it out on the page, on the Paranormal Dimensions page. I'll put a few links to anything you've got that's interesting, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, it's about 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Because at first I asked if what I saw when I was there last time, with people walking into the church, was true. And you hear a woman's voice say yes quite loudly. But then when we went round the tomb, this was a woman's voice again. Now what got me is it was all the same tone, and it must have gone over at least 6 to 10 stations. Now to me, if it's going over 6 to 10 stations, then you're going to get different tones, you're going to get different voices, it won't all be the same. So to me, that was quite remarkable, considering it was from a spirit box.
Well, especially when if it sort of makes sense, and it was, when it calls out a name that's recognised or something like that, it's you've got to take notice of it, haven't you?
Yeah, it was incredible that night, to be honest. But it's an incredible place.
Yeah.
I've got a connection to Barking Abbey, and I've got a connection to the Tower of London as well.
Really?
I'm related to King Henry I, and I'm related to William the Conqueror.
Wow.
And William the Conqueror actually ruled from Barking Abbey for a short time, and Henry I imprisoned the first person in the Tower of London.
I see. What did you do? Have you researched right back that far then?
Yeah, my dad's been doing the family tree, and I'm related to dukes and lords and everything else.
Well, we should have called him so, not me.
See?
No, I'm telling everyone, just call me Prince of the Paranormal, that'll do perfect.
That's what you ought to, yeah, anyway. No, that's really fascinating actually, Dave. Didn't realise. I'll have to bow to you next time.
No, you know me too well. You can't bow to me.
No, actually, I've got to be honest, I wouldn't even bow to the Queen, I've got to say. So that is interesting though, I find that quite fascinating. You've managed to go back that far, because it's a long way to go back, isn't it? Like 1066?
Yeah. And I think he's gone back even further than that. So I'd have to get a print out of how far he's gone back.
Yeah. So William the Conqueror was actually French, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was my nan, who's my dad's mum. She's actually got French relations, because her mum was originally from France.
Ah, well, it's even more evidence.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So my great nan was from France.
Yeah. I mean, our American listeners are going to love that out there, aren't they? You know.
Yeah, just like say, no bowing, please.
That's, brilliant. Oh, that's really interesting. So, what about EVP recording? Have you ever recorded any of that, when you've been doing your spirit box or as well?
Yeah, I've got quite a few recordings. There was one from Coalhouse Fault. This was when I was out of the building because of an incident that happened between me and a spirit.
Yeah.
And they actually asked if a child was stabbed there with a bayonet.
Mm.
And in the background, you can hear as clear as anything, yes. And I've got quite a few other recordings as well. And there was one when I very first used it. It was at a friend's house. I still to this day do not know what happened to it. So now left the recorder in her daughter's room where all the activity was going on. Her daughter wasn't there, by the way. Then you could hear, because her daughter was downstairs with us at the time. But on the PlayStation 3, there was a game called Naughty Bear. And you can hear the noise in the background. Then you could hear my friend, her son, talking, saying, right, now it's time for bed. Then you can hear my friend, her son and her daughter all go upstairs. And they all slept in her mum's room. So you can hear all this. Then later on you could hear her daughter talking in the sleep. And she mentioned something about a bathroom. I've brought it home. I thought, right, let's go through it now, so that when I go back I can say, yeah, this happened at this time, and then we skip to this time and this is when this happened. You can hear Naughty Bear in the background, but the actual noise of them going to bed, the actual talking and everything else is gone. So I've got Naughty Bear in the background. I've got no voices of my friend. Her daughter talking is not on there. And I've listened to it over and over again. I've put it on CD. I've turned it up volume high as I could. I've tried everything and it's just not there.
Wow. That is weird.
Yeah. Because I took it back and they're sitting there listening to it, and I went to set a camera back upstairs. And she said, have you messed around with this? I'm like, no. I said, it's not there, is it? She went, no. And I said, all I'd done was took it home. And then started playing it again. That's all I'd done. So the background's there, the foreground, it's just completely gone.
Can I just
Jump in.
Now, so obviously at the beginning of the programme, when you were saying that the spirits have said to you that they've had enough, stop coming and just visiting, don't come here anymore. Do you think that was perhaps the case with this? And they're just going, you know what? I'm not having this. Playing you around a little bit, so to speak.
As it goes, I was thinking, is it something that we should not have known about in the first place? Was it a private affair between, because from what her daughter told us, it was two family members from opposite families, and one of them got thrown out of the window. That's what she's seeing in her dream. That's what she was talking about. So I was wondering after that, well, perhaps they didn't want us to know this. And so that's why it's been removed. But I thought surely if it was that, then all of it would have been removed. I wouldn't still have the background.
True. You could also debate the point, how much energy has that entity got? What do they want you to hear? What do they not want you to hear?
It still bothers me to this day because I still can't work it out.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting though. I'm the person who goes, have you thought of it this way or da 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 da. I'm biggest skeptic going, but you know, there are things I can't explain.
Yeah,
same with you.
As I say, you've got to be sceptical first, haven't you? So, have you not done a lot of Ouija board work, David? You've not used it that much?
I mainly use it when I'm on events. As it goes, the first time I used one, that was pretty scary for the people who were there, because it was the first time I cried at Eastbury Manor House. We went in the room, Ouija board was set up, there was someone who worked there, my friend and her friend sitting at the table. My friend's mum was in the room also. Once again, I had Brian with me. I just walked into the room, just stood there, didn't say a word. And I could hear my friend's mum calling me, asking me if I'm there. And after a couple of minutes, all I'd done was turned around, looked at her, turned back, put my cameras down, turned around and walked out. This is without saying a word. So my friend Brian's come out, because I've got this rule in my group. Unless they feel it's life-threatening, whatever happens to me, just keep filming. Because I want to see if the camera can pick up on what's making me feel the way I do. So he's filming. The group leader come out, asking if I was okay. I'm like, yeah, I just had to get out of there for a sec. So he asked me what I felt. I said I felt sorrow, sadness, depression. And he said, you like to go back in? I'm like, yeah, because I want to find out what's caused this. As I took the step, I went down on one knee and just bawled my eyes out. I don't know why, I just bawled my eyes out. So I managed to get into the room. Now I said to Brian, do you want to do this? Because I thought I've been affected, so I want to see if it comes through for him, because it might be better. So I started filming. 4 people were on the Ouija board. The group leader started asking questions, and the glass just did not move. So he's like, oh no, take your fingers off. So he's moved the glass to make sure it was slipping okay. Put their fingers back on. He's asking again. Nothing's happening. So now he's joined. He's asking questions again. Once again, the glass just did not move at all. He's like, oh no, this ain't right, this has never happened before. And I thought, okay, well what have you done in the past then for this to not happen now? So that made me a bit sort of weary of him. Then I said to Brian, tell you what, I said, since that affected me, let me try. And I'm the worst when it comes to details. I need to make sure everything is honest and true. And the way I put my finger on it was so light that I could quite easily slide the finger off at any time. So I asked, is the spirit who affected me here with us now? And the glass started moving and it moved to yes. And then after that, every time I asked stuff, I got answers to it. So it seemed weird that it wanted to communicate with me. So it must have known that I could actually sense them in order to communicate with me the way they did.
So what is it you think made you break down with that then? Did you have any inkling as to what that was?
Well, I found out afterwards, because they actually come to me and showed me what happened. There was a woman who hung herself, and she had the cord that tied the curtains back around her neck. I could see the chair was moved away from her, and it turns out Eastbury Manor House is a 16th century house, and you used to get quite a bit of royalty and sort of dignitaries and ambassadors there. And one of these ambassadors raped her. She ended up pregnant, but she was engaged to be married to someone else who worked there. And obviously back then, having someone else's child out of wedlock brought shame and dishonour to the families. So she couldn't bear the thought of that. And so unfortunately, she hung herself.
So she wasn't that old then?
No, she was only in her 20s. And next time I went there, the same room, it took me 4 attempts to try and get in there and give this message. Because every time I went through that doorway, I just broke down in tears. I was fine throughout the rest of the house. It was just that one room, and I just broke down in tears.
Because you're not normally of that demeanour, are you? You don't, I think you're quite a strong character. I don't think you'd break down in tears for no reason, would you?
I like to think, with everything I've been through, I'm quite a strong character, and I like to obviously go things with an open mind. But yeah, this really did affect me. Yeah.
Well, it's like me. I mean, you're probably a bit like me. I mean, I can't imagine myself just breaking down in tears for, I'm just entering a room for, for no apparent reason. It's,
Well, what annoyed me the next time I went there to try and give this message, I think word must have got around what was going on. Because it was meant to be just my group in the room. And the next thing I know, there's a lot more people in the room than what there should be. And they've all got, like, their mobile phones out, recording it, and the lights are shining everywhere. And it annoyed me, because I thought, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
This is not a show I'm trying to put on.
Yeah.
I've got to give this message to this spirit. And so basically I just wanted everyone to leave. So I thought, this is a private affair, not public. But I managed to give the message, and since then, every time I go back, there's a different feeling in that room now.
That's unfortunate. The world we live in, everyone wants to get their phone out and film everything, don't they?
Yeah.
It's interesting, sort of going back to the history of Ouija board or talking board when you think about it, because you've got a chap, I think it was called Elijah Bond, that sort of commercially introduced it 1890, and people sort of back in the Victorian era obviously, used it as a bit of a parlour game, tipping tables, things like that. So there's part of me that thinks, before that, how was this done? This has got more popular, I think, as the years have progressed, but then again, we're going back to Most Haunted again. It's like, there's part of me that thinks this is not a good thing. But then again, that's just personal opinion, that's all.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how they first thought of, why would they first think of it?
It's like automatic writing.
Yeah.
You know me, or somebody that goes, a trans medium. Everybody wants proof. I think, you and I have had this discussion before. It's like everybody's very, very quick to dismiss.
Yeah.
But
I've seen trans mediumship, and it's amazing. I always sort of poo-pooed it and thought, I'll never see anything, but
when it's done properly, it's good.
A friend of mine came here, I think I mentioned him, Frank Willis, and he's a trans medium, and wow, it just blew my mind, like 3 of us, four of 3 of us saw exactly the same thing,
And I've captured his eyes changing colour. It's like, okay.
Well, I know of a fraud who tried that once. And it was laughable. A fraud.
A fraud? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, how could a fraud get away with it?
Well, it was funny because, once again, it was at Fannon's house.
Yeah.
And he's supposedly a psychic medium, but I've got no faith in the man as a psychic medium at all.
Right. Is it anyone we know?
And Stephen Lee, I believe his name is. He's local to my area.
Oh, right.
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay,
I really
don't.
Because he's a showman.
Right.
And he tried to do this trans medium thing. And, you can hear my friend Brian sniggering as he's filming. That's how bad it was.
Right.
All this man done, really, because he's quite a chubby man. He's not fat, but he's quite chubby. All he done was lift his head up and then turned it to the left. And you can hear people in the crowd going, oh, look, his face is getting thinner, I thought, but if you lift your head up and turn it to the left, it's going to get thinner anyway.
Yes, I've never heard of him. Well, I don't think I've ever heard of him anyway, so...
Oh,
wow.
The man's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, there's a few of them about, unfortunately, aren't there, as you will know.
Well, let's just say the last time I went to Fant's house, they're lucky that I did not get my group that I was with and walk out over what he done.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. He's very disrespectful towards the spirit of the house. And I mean, very disrespectful.
Yeah.
We went on an investigation. I got drained completely. It was my own fault. And I'm sitting outside. 3 friends who was with me come running out the house because they heard a massive bang. So they've gone back in. A couple of seconds later, they've come running back out the house again. He's now gone back in with them. And he said, and I've got this on camera, so he can't deny it. He turned around and said, that's not how we do things here. This is my house. It's my rules. And I thought, excuse me? How dare you say it's your house and your rules? They live here. It's their house. It's their rules. Mm. And I thought that's just total disrespect towards the spirits. Mm.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, that you have got to respect the spirits. I learnt that from Gary, actually. I think he's very respectful, isn't he? Gary Bradfield I'm talking about. When he does his ghost events.
Yeah, he's one of the most respectful people out there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Do you think that some people within this environment are what I would probably class as emotional vampires?
Mm.
Yeah, I've actually come across a couple. Because you start off upbeat, but it seems like by the time you finish and you come home, you're just down and feel so drained, and all you want to do is sleep.
It's just like the negative auras draining, and yeah.
It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go back and see them again.
Huh.
Some people don't realise that happens to them, though, do they?
No.
No, they just think that's their way of life and that's it, end of. They don't see any other way out. And you're trying to sort of boost their energy with yours, but it seems like they end up just taking your energy.
Yeah.
What phrase is that? Energy leeches. It's like sort of leeching energy out of you.
Yeah, I've never heard those terms before. I've heard of energy vampires before. Not a leech.
Well, it's just, people do leech. It's not just specifically akin to, the paranormal world, or investigations. It can be in real life, where somebody is always, this has happened and that's happened, during drama. And then when you want help, it's like, I'm busy.
Yeah, I got rid of some of them now.
Me too.
Earlier you mentioned about table tipping. Have you done much of that? Or experienced it?
Actually done that at Powerfest.
Oh, you did? I'm not sure. I don't think I was involved in that, but I have actually experienced it, and I was actually quite blown away with that, because it felt like something was actually under the table, because we were all taking our hands off the table one at a time, and when I took mine off, I actually went under the table, and it felt, I was actually trying to push the table down, but it was going up, and it felt like a springy sensation under the table. Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, I was with Paul and Nigel from Spectre Ghost Seekers.
Right.
And it was the room where...
Is that Paul? It's not Paul Rook, is it?
No.
That's somebody else.
I can't remember his second name, to be honest. I know it's Nigel Webster.
Yeah.
But I can't remember Paul's second name offhand. But it was where John Blackburn was doing his experiment with the painting of David. Another David.
Oh, yeah.
And this is when we was doing the investigation after the actual event. And there was another couple in there as well. And we was trying to find out about a soldier. And something was missing. And it turns out it was a letter. And we think it was a love letter. And we're asking the questions, and the table was rocking that much, we thought it was literally going to tip over. And there was another couple there, and I remember the lady got up, because we asked if she wanted to join in as well. So she's got up, joined us, she's asked a couple of questions, the table was starting to get a bit more erratic, and she's like, yeah, that's it, that's enough for me, thank you. She left.
Yeah. Yeah, it does get quite violent, doesn't it?
Cool, yeah. But that was another memorable night, and I'll never forget that one either.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was suspicious, actually, that somebody's rocking it or something, you know, but I think it was proven to me on that particular occasion that it wasn't, you know, something was actually pushing it up, because it's, you know, as I say, it was like a springy sensation on it. It's weird.
Well, I know when me and Nigel was doing it, because Paul was asking the questions, and because he was getting all the information through, and we was using the table to actually confirm it or deny it. But I know when me and Nigel was there on the table, our hands was literally slipping across the table. We couldn't keep up. And if it was one of us pushing down, then we would have known.
Yeah.
Because our hands would have been pretty much stuck to it.
Yeah.
But our hands were slipping all over the place trying to keep up with the rocking of the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I've seen, I saw it myself, you know, it's, it just wouldn't go the way it was going, would it? Because if one at a time taking the hand off the table, and it's still going in the same direction. So it's pretty strange. So have you got, what plans have you got when all these, you know, when we can all sort of move about again a bit? Have you got any locations planned?
Well, I've got a couple of plans that I'm doing anyway, even with lockdown.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
I won't tell anybody.
some videos. Yeah, just between us. Don't worry about the thousands of people that are listening, it's just between us. But yeah, I'm going to basically give people a look into the life of a paranormal investigator.
Oh, right.
Everything we go through. So, preparing equipment, thinking about location and the type of equipment we may need, all the pros and cons of the equipment. Then I'm going to be doing a live investigation. So I'm going to get people to interact with me, tell me where they think I should go in this location and the equipment I should use in that location. Then I'm going to show them what it's like to go through all the cameras, all the audio, everything we go through. And hopefully, if I can get permission from the research centre, I'm going to do filming there as well to show the research that we do. And it's not all online. We do actually go out and do research. So I'm actually going to give everyone a preview of everything we have to go through. And I'm also going to be doing a meditation CD, because I'm fed up of these ones that start off okay, but then halfway through they talk again, because that just makes you jump, and you've lost sort of all the things that you was trying to achieve, because then you've got to start all over again. And people have been telling me for ages that my voice is calming, it's relaxing, and that I need to do this. So I'm thinking, well, why not? I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah. True.
So I'll give it a try.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting about the paranormal investigation equipment, talk and everything you'll be doing. Yeah. So that's all going to be filmed, is it?
Yep, I'm going to pre-record all the process that we go through. The actual investigation is going to be live. So I'll be doing a live stream from the location. And going through...
yeah.
Or going through all the evidence afterwards and the research centre, that's going to be recorded as well.
That's excellent, because it'll all be recorded. As I say, it'll be there to be watched at any time anyway, won't it? Afterwards, because I've no doubt you'll put it all on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel, which is Essex Ghost Investigations.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do, I'll put that link on the paranormal page, Paranormal Dimensions page, I should say, when the show goes out, and some people better catch up with all everything else that you've been up to.
Oh, fantastic, thanks.
That's all right.
I'd also like to give a shout out to William Becker as well, if that's okay.
Yeah, I know William. Yeah, go on.
Well, he allowed me to write an article in his June edition of the Paranormal Insights newsletter.
Oh, right. I suppose we should explain it to everyone out there. William Becker's American, isn't he? And he was over here at Paraforce a couple of years ago. And I think he wants to come back, doesn't he? But the way things are at the moment.
Well, he's an American, but he's an Englishman at heart. He seems to think that this is his home.
Oh, right, yeah. I know he...
So he feels more...
I know he loves it over here.
Yeah, he said he feels more at home here than what he does over in America.
Yeah, which is strange, isn't it?
He's actually found his graves over here in the UK.
Is he?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll have to get him on the show. You know, I suppose you've had him on your show, have you?
Oh yeah, he keeps bugging me to come on.
Does he?
And, you know.
No,
I thought I'd better do it for him.
I'll have to get him back on my show, I think. Or not get him back on get him on my show. I think he'll be quite a good guest.
He'll be phenomenal to talk to.
Yeah. Because I've not really had a good conversation with him, but you know what it was like when we went to the Parafest, the Paraforce thing. Everyone's buzzing about, and you just don't get a chance to really talk to anyone at any length, do you? Because you all want to get to the next little event, you know.
Yeah, there wasn't much time in between events to sort of perhaps just go and mingle.
Yeah, because if you want to see everything that's going on, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't spend time with people talking.
And the worst part is as well, they had such great guest speakers there.
Yeah.
There was times when they collided.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
So you had to choose.
Yeah, I hate that when you've got to actually choose who you want to listen to when you really want to hear both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful.
Well, perhaps next time that happens, take a voice recorder with you. Ask someone to record it for you. Yeah. You can listen to it back afterwards.
Yeah. Or even better, film it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a good idea, actually. You could take a recorder. I usually take a recorder anyway when I go to these things. But
I've had quite a few guests from Paraforce actually come on my show, to be honest. Yeah, I've had John Blackburn. I've had yourself. And I will get you back, sir. Don't worry about that.
Oh, right, okay. I don't know what new stuff I can tell you. Mind you, I think we settled on one subject, I think, more or less, than when I came on yours, didn't we? But,
yes. Yep.
The Mr. Warren affair.
Forest.
Yeah.
That got me quite a bit of backlash.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. You have to tell me a bit about that off air. Well, what happened then? No, you better tell me off air.
I don't mind staying on there if you want me to.
Yeah, I can always chop it.
Not a problem.
Yeah, go on then.
Basically,
it's you
after
talking, not me.
And it's all true as well. Basically, after I had you and Satcher on, obviously Benjamin Jones got in touch with me straight afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't until, I think about a few weeks afterwards, I asked Tina if there was any emails about the show. And supposedly I got emails that she didn't want to pass on to me, bless her, because she didn't want it affecting the show and affecting me. but I've got emails saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to get the other side on.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, let's address this in the show.
Yeah.
So before I brought Ben on, I turned around and said, right, I've got a few emails after the last show about Rendlesham Forest saying I don't know what I'm talking about. And I said, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what I'm talking about. This is why I get the guests on that I do.
Yeah.
So that I can learn. I said, all I know is what I watch on documentaries and from what I read. That's all I know. This is why I get the guests on that I do, so that I learn along with yous.
Yeah.
And then I also got an email saying I need to get the other side on.
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with you. You should get the other side on.
Yeah.
I've actually tried to get the other side on my show, but nobody wants to come on.
Well, when Ben sent me the message afterwards, I thought, well, yeah, let's get you on. You know, let's get your side of things, so that people can go back.
I mean,
listen to all the shows.
I've got to say, as far as he's concerned, he's just shoved his nose in it anyway, and you know, it's none of his business anyway.
No, but I thought, and then I addressed the part where they said, I need to get the other side on. And I said, and this gentleman, who's my guest today, sent me a message after the last show, and I thought it was only fair to get the other side. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduced to you, and then I got on with the show. Because I thought, I'm not going to let these negative emails affect me, because they are true in what they say. Yeah. I did not know what I was talking about. I do not know all the facts. So, I do not know who is telling the truth, who's telling the lie. Yeah. I'm just trying to come up with my own conclusions, along with you lot.
Yeah. Well, I think I can say at this point, you've heard of Jim Penniston, haven't you?
Yeah.
He was the one that was supposed to have touched the side of the craft in Rendlesham Forest. Now, if you get his book, The Rendlesham Enigma, there's a lot of stuff in there that I was telling you on the show is actually in that book. You know, and it's all been backed up with notes and facts and everything, and you know, I think it's pretty clear now that was a couple of years ago, and it is pretty clear now that what I was saying on the show has actually come to fruition, shall we say?
Yeah, I know the amount of research that you do. I know you don't just settle for one bit of information. You go deep research, which is one of the things I respect about you.
Let's put it like this. It was Sasha. I mean, we've got to give Sasha the credit for that. It was her that started that off, and I only sort of, let's just say, jumped on the bandwagon for personal reasons at the time. You know, I wouldn't have got involved if it wasn't for a reason. But it was Sasha that started all that, and then we just progressed from that, and we found out other things as a small team. You know, and there was other people involved in it as well, which, you know, wanted to keep their head below the parapet, sort of, should we say. But, really, we just found more and more stuff, and it was all proven to be true. You know, you couldn't argue with it, really. You know.
But I just wish that more people would look at what happened with an open mind.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because it seems like anyone who's trying to defend something, they do it one-sided. They don't look at all the evidence.
I was always open to talk to anybody, but what happened with Sasha and I, we just got blocked, and they didn't want our side getting through to the people that were listening to them, you see.
Yeah, and that's what annoys me, because it's like, now come on, sort of, alright, you've got the person who's involved, and then you've got the person who knows the truth. So listen to both sides. Don't just think, oh yeah, he's told me this, that's what I'm going to believe, and I'm not going to believe nothing else. Because that's just not fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since I've been on your show, I've found out quite a lot of stuff since, you know, in the 2 years, it's probably around about 2 years since I was on your show. An awful lot more, and I've seen a lot more evidence to back up what we were saying in the first place, you know. But there you go.
I've noticed he has gone pretty quiet as well now.
He has gone quiet because, Yeah, I agree. Well, we're still waiting for this film to materialise, which was should have been released about 2 years ago. It's taken longer to prepare than Ben-Hur, I think, now. But
well, he actually discredited my show before I even invited him on.
Did he? Yeah,
yeah,
well, that's the way they work, you see. That's how they do it. But
I thought, no, if you want to come on, I'll still give you a fair chance like I did everyone else.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, the gentleman you mentioned, Mr. Jones, I actually invited him round to my home here. I told him I'd go and pick him up. I'll bring him home for dinner and I'll show him, we can compare evidence. But, of course, that wasn't taken up, was it? He just made a little video and he was threatening violence on the streets and walking around the street and and my name was mentioned.
Silly man.
Yeah, there you go.
It could all be resolved so simply just by sitting down and talking.
Well, they've got their they've got so much of their own imagined truth invested in this, and I think they just don't want to lose it, But unfortunately, what we've been saying is actually proven, and it's in several books now, and the evidence is out there. I've seen lots of paperwork that backs up what we were saying. I've seen military paperwork.
Well, it's part of the trouble in the paranormal as well. It seems like there's too many one-sided people now, and too many egos.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And then they're not willing to listen to anything else.
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough, defend what you've got by all means. But if there's something else that could explain it, surely it's worth listening to.
Well, that's the thing, you see, they don't want to listen to the other side of the evidence. Or they'll just poo-poo it and say it's not, nothing's true in what's being said. I was quite willing to be proven wrong, by anybody, and so was Sasha. But the fact was that the more we dug, like I said just now, the more we dug, the more we found, and we thought, well, it's just a hard case that they just can't argue with, the evidence is there. And
the sad thing is, when they turn to violence, that's when you've hit a nerve.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean,
that's when they've got no other argument.
Yeah, well, I think he was. I think it was the thing he's supposed to, because I think he gets a few trolls and things on his own page, and I think he was off meetings or trying to meet somebody in a little a cricket hat or something, but it was a child's one and a plastic sword he was carrying around in the street. So whatever that tells you about his mentality, I don't know. But on the way there, he's talking about he'd take on Sasha, but because they're women, he said, but I could take on David Young or something like that, or worse to that effect, something like that. Anyway.
Well, yeah, I actually remember seeing that video, and I'm thinking, why have you done this?
Yeah, I know.
Any sort of credibility you thought you had after seeing this is now gone.
Yeah, I mean, I've still
everyone's just going to be laughing at you. Everyone's just going to be thinking that what you say is just complete BS, and you've just killed yourself more than anything else. I
mean, I just think he's hilarious, to be honest, but there you go. That's my own personal opinion, not this radio station's.
Now, if you want to be taken seriously in what you do, present yourself in that way. Don't do something ridiculous like that and then expect people to turn around and say, oh yeah, I believe what you say, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, but there you go. He has got his followers, but I think they're dropping off a bit now. But
yeah, they're probably going back to hospital.
Anyway, I suppose we ought to end a little bit because we've been talking about Rendlesham. What about extraterrestrial spirits? How do you feel about that?
I do honestly believe that I have encountered some.
You do? That's interesting.
I've been doing some meditating. I ain't done it for a little while, and they've been having a go at me, saying I need to get back to it. I will, I promise. Yeah, there was one time when I was meditating, and I went to Four Corners in Utah.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah.
And on the outside, I could actually see like these invisible creatures. And the reason why I could see them is because it was like the light was moving in certain areas, but not around it. So to me, it seems like they was like security. They was guarding it. And somehow, I can't remember who I was with. I'm sure I was with someone, but I can't remember exactly who it was. And somehow I found an entrance. And as I walked through the entrance, there was greys, whites, reptilians. There was like beings there of all species.
Right.
Just all walking around in like just this one big community. And I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel threatened. I don't know why. It was like they just accepted me. And it was, like I say, it was weird walking through them and seeing them and not having them like come up to me and try and kill me or try and eat me like people say they do. And then the next night, when I was meditating, I still remember it because I drew a picture of it so I won't forget. It was like this face, but it had a full face mask on. Sort of come up to me, and it must have only been about 2 or 3 inches away from my face. And then it just left. And it felt like it was someone on a high council. And I think they was trying to see how I would react. Whether I'd be scared or if I'd just stay calm. So it's like they was testing me. So I thought, I want to stay calm because I want to see what goes on. And it just stood there, or just looked at me for at least, 5 seconds. And then it just disappeared. So I honestly don't know what that was about.
But it's interesting because you're not really into the space side of things, are you? But the fact that you mentioned about the greys and reptilians, now there are, I don't know what you feel, Juliette, but apparently there are good types of reptilians as well as the bad ones, from what I understand. From
yeah,
others. I mean, I'm not an expert on myself.
I'm not. Yeah, I tend to ask Philip Kinsella if it is like.
That's right. I mean, Philip is one of the.
He's my go-to.
Yeah, he's actually said the same thing. I think there are some really bad reptilian entity type things that actually hook onto people that are living in another dimension, and they kind of control humans a little bit. But there are the good ones as well. And the greys seem to be, I don't know, they seem to be like a servant.
It's an interesting fact. Listening to, not presenter David, obviously guest David, listening and just I'm sort of assimilating, hence I'm quiet, and I don't, it's almost like they're attracted to you, be it spirit or alien. Do you think that? What do you think? Do you think you attract them?
I know I attract spirits, because I've actually had this confirmed. Spirits know that I can hear them, they know that I can see them, and they know that I can talk to them. That's how I've had that confirmed. When I spoke to someone about this vision that I had, and the reason why I say it's visions because I know I wasn't asleep. So it wasn't a dream. And she turned around and said to me that I could be a guardian. And that's why I was tested. And I think, guardian of what? But I think it's because I accept pretty much anything to do with paranormal, be it ufology, spirits, anything.
Yeah, you're open to it all.
Yeah.
You're a conductor.
Yeah. Except I ain't got a big stick and they don't play instruments.
You could have a hat with stringy stuff on there, right? No, it's just.
But yeah, so she reckons that I'm a guardian, and that's why they come to me.
Interesting.
It is interesting. Well, I guess on that kind of note, I think that's, I suppose we better wind it up there, but that's really interesting, David. Thanks for your outlook on the previous show that I was on. I didn't actually realise that it caused you problems. I'm sorry about that. But,
no, don't be sorry. Obviously, by causing problems, we've done something right.
Yeah. But I suppose it was inevitable, me being on your show. They knew what I was going to be talking about, so that's kind of why, they was probably hanging on every word.
Yeah, but then, to be honest, it's me trying to find the truth.
Yeah.
So, if people can provide the truth, if people want to give their side of things, and then let the listeners come up with the truth, I'm all for it. I don't care any kind of sort of confrontation it causes me.
Yeah.
Because I know, at the end of the day, it's honest, and I'd leave it up to the listener to make their own conclusions.
I think what you've got to take into consideration is, I'm willing to talk to any of them. They're not willing to talk to me or Sasha to face, but they will like to talk to the likes of you and people out there to give their side of it, and not actually confront us with their truth or their way of seeing things, because they know very well they haven't got really a lot of argument there at the end of the day.
And it is sad that they feel that way, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, we all want the truth.
Yeah.
We all want to know what happened.
Right. I mean, it's no secret.
If people can provide it, talk about it.
Well, it's no secret out there. I actually invited Gary Heseltine onto the show a couple of times, and he's refused to come on because he knows what the questions I'll be asking. So.
Yeah, but surely you're better off talking to the people that got the information.
I'd agree, because I mean, the way I look at it, he could make me look a right fool, couldn't he? That's the way I look at it.
Well, yeah, if he's got information contrary to what you've got, and he can present it in the right way, then yeah, he's going to contradict everything you say.
With evidence.
Yeah. With solid evidence.
Yeah, but I think he knows that. I think at the end of the day, I think it's just known that what we've got is sort of more solid than theirs. I mean, as we know, we're still waiting for this film to materialise. I'm not going to advertise it, but there's going to be quite a few things in there that other people are waiting to pounce on. Bigger names than me.
Let's see if it does ever get released.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be August, I think now, the last we heard, when it was supposed to be about 2 years ago, almost, I think. Anyway, we'll leave it there, Dave, and thanks for coming on, and I don't know if you've got any last words, Juliette?
Absolutely fascinating, Debbie, thank you so much. I hope I've maybe given you a little bit of food for thought as well there.
Yeah, and you've made another friend.
Hopefully. Checks in the post.
And Dave, I'd like to come on some one of your. I'll have to. In fact, I'll tell you now. I'm actually thinking we may be moving back to Essex, so I may well join your group as well. Well, I think I'm probably already in it anyway. I'm not sure. Oh,
you're an honorary member.
I'm an honorary member, am I? I thought I was actually in the group anyway, but if I'm an honorary, that'll do me.
Yeah, until you actually come out on an investigation, then you'll be a full member.
Yeah, okay then. Well, I'll look forward to doing that at some point, and I mean that. I do mean that. Anyway, thanks, Dave.
You're more than welcome.
Thanks very much for coming on. I hope you've enjoyed the evening. And
I've loved it.
Great, okay. And as I say, perhaps you'll come back on again in another couple of years, if we're all still here.
I think they just dropped the bombers now, get it over with.
God, don't say that. It's fair enough as it is. But you never know. No, I didn't mean a couple of years. I mean, we'll get around to it at some point.
Well, all I know is the way things are going, if Godzilla don't turn up this year, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, it feels a bit like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I need him to come up now.
Yeah, but what if he brings Mothra?
King Kong.
That'd just be icing on the cake.
I know my sci-fi.
God blimey, it's really good. Anyway.
I'm a geek, I know it.
Anyway, let's draw a line under it, otherwise people will be saying, what's the matter with this lot? Anyway, thanks again, Dave, and Juliette, thanks for coming on again, and good night to all of you. And as I say, hope to get you back on again sometime.
Anytime. It'll be an honour.
Okay, you've been listening to Paranormal Dimensions. I'm David Young. It's on the Paranormal UK Radio Network, and hope you tune in again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Paranormal Dimensions is as bright and powerful as our celestial star, the sun. And although it's expending thousands of pounds of energy every minute of the day, have no fear. There's plenty left.
Paranormal Dimensions is a regular feature on Mondays on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.
It's been a little good little video we've made here. And why I've done what I've done, and why I'm going to do what I'm going to do. E.T. was here. Ha ha ha.